On March 21st, we had a historic election. I was elected as the first African-American mayor, and some people were not pleased with that, and it's evident by their actions prior to the election and also their subsequent actions since I've been in office. It's been every attempt that you can think, some imaginable, some unimaginable, some just absolutely ridiculous, to interfere with me doing the work. I do view it at this point as just retaliation for me being in the city. I didn't elect myself. Citizens of Jonesboro elected me in a record turnout for voters, and I think that speaks for itself.
So I have to ask you this, as not only a elected official and a politician, but just as a black woman, having to deal with something like this in 2023, how does that make you feel personally?
It's frustrating for one. I want to say first and foremost, for the record, I am concerned about my safety. I've voiced that with a number of individuals in public safety, including my chief of police. There have been incidents at City Hall where I believe there've been a breach in security that could have put me at harm, as well as other employees. So it's sad that in 2023, as an elected official, I have to be so concerned about me being safe. It's sad in 2023 that people can't accept the democratic electoral process of who's been elected. November 17th, we'll go back to the polls. And the citizens will make another decision. My hope is that it will be me, and I'll sit in that seat for 4 more years. But we all have an option to determine who we want to govern over us, and the citizens spoke. And outside of these allegations, I think I've done an exceptional job. And when we speak to people in the community, business owners and citizens, they'll tell you they're well pleased with the work that I've done.
Now, you've been dealing with some things that have been personal attacks. Walk us through that.
I think one of the personal attacks is when you ask me to be able to provide my whereabouts if I leave the city of Jonesboro, which is 2.6 square miles, for more than 24 hours, and that I'm to notify the entire council, not only that I'm out of town, but also, or out of the city, not even out of town, but that I'm out of the city, and give them my location. I feel like that's a personal attack.
Why would they request that? Is that something that is on the records, on the books? Is that something you were aware of prior to being mayor?
No, we had a standard municipal policy for what should happen if the mayor is absent. They're aware that oftentimes I am out of the city of Jonesboro for work, so I'm not sure if it was just another means of trying to exhibit control or something.
So there's something that occurred with you and an individual relative to your office and a firearm. Walk us through that.
On August 29th, a Tuesday, I had a normal, cordial interaction with our lieutenant for the Jonesboro Police Department regarding city business. At that time, during the meeting, I went to my drawer to retrieve a ruler to measure something, and transferred my handgun from the locked desk drawer to my bag because I was getting ready to leave. We had about 2 more interactions where he left my office and came back in, and left my office and came back in, all uneventful, all cordial. I was notified approximately 2 days later that he was filing a grievance in regard to workforce violence and possibly assault.
By any chance, did you brandish the gun at him, turn it towards him, any threatening behavior towards him at all? No,
it's actually an unloaded gun. It was nothing threatening. My desk sits about 14 feet away from the door. At the end of our cordial interaction, I want to insist on our cordial interaction, he turned and left out of the door and returned back and left 2 more additional times. He's also to be noted that he's an armed officer. He sat there with a handgun as well. At no point was his handgun withdrawn. At no point did I feel like it was a hostile situation. As a matter of fact, his last encounter that day, about 25 minutes subsequent to 25 minutes prior to this alleged interaction, he came back in with a tape measure and stood side by side with me as we measured for a particular whiteboard that I want to put on my wall. The following day, we served the community in a food distribution for about 35 to 40 minutes alongside one another.
So at this point, you have been barred, I understand, from entering City Hall as the acting mayor of Jonesboro.
Yes, to my understanding.
Okay, so walk me through that.
This incident happened on August 29th, which was a Tuesday. Yesterday, almost a week afterwards, a week and a day, I was notified by our chief of police that his recommendation would be that I be removed from City Hall and that I turn in all of my Jonesboro property, the City Tahoe, my keys, any property related to the city of Jonesboro. I'm not sure if that meant my city phone, my laptop, or things like that.
So are they basically trying to remove you as mayor? Is that it? Or is this a censure type of thing? What is it?
I'm not sure, and they can't label that as well. My legal team has asked that our legal counsel, as well as the council, provide statute or legal laws that would allow for such thing. Because I am concerned that the city works efficiently and continues in my physical absence, because I still carry on the business of the city just remotely, I felt it was in the best interest that I not even challenge that and just remain working virtually from home.
So at this point, where does it stand as it relates to your ability to be the mayor of Jonesboro?
None of my powers or responsibilities have been revoked from me in time. Due process has to occur before any of that can happen. So I'm patiently awaiting for due process to occur to shed additional light on this alleged incident, and so that I can be vindicated of this false crime or whatever that they said I've done.